just figuring out why you're following me. Is there something wrong?
You're not detained at this time. You're free to go, sir.
I was just asking a question. I know I'm free, but I'm just asking a question.
You can ask whatever questions you like. Since you're not detained, I'm going to decline to answer any questions at this time.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I recently did some digging the other day and found my entire file system here that contains documents of investigations, complaints, lawsuits, and other miscellaneous information regarding my older videos of various police departments. Now, this information has not been released, but I plan on doing a series of videos where I'm kind of going over the situation and releasing new information as well that I did not give out, and some behind the scenes of things that happened whenever the camera was turned off. Now, this is the complaint that I filed for the incident, which happened on August 5th of 2015, involving Officer Michael Metz, badge number 5121 of the Austin Police Department. I was with a subscriber named Vinny, and we were filming a police encounter at the Garcia and Garcia Attorneys at Law. Vinny was standing on the opposite side of the street here at the Rumberg Grocery, and I was standing on the same side where the police encounter took place, filming the interaction. Well, this one particular officer just kept eyeing us down, staring us down hard, and we didn't really think nothing of it. After the police encounter was over, we decided to get back in the car and see what other encounters we could find. So we went southbound on North Creek and we made a right on Rumberg, traveling west. So after we were traveling west, we noticed that same officer that got into the cruiser was following us. We continued to travel westbound on Rumberg and we made a right going north on Georgian. We pulled a U-turn and stopped short of the intersection of Rumberg and Georgian. The officer, Officer Metz, continued to travel westbound on Rumberg and pulled into this church parking lot and sat there. I made a bet with Vinny and told him and said, hey, I think this officer is going to follow us. Now, during this incident, I didn't have a dash cam, nor did I intend on getting one. But after this particular situation, I definitely got one. But in the meantime, I had to improvise. So using my tripod, I had to use these two legs to stabilize the tripod on the back seat, and this third leg was sitting on the floorboard for added stability. Now, I still have my old camera, but this is what I use for a dash cam. So this was pointing at the rear view of the car. So after the tripod was set up, we continued to travel west on Rumberg. And before you know it, the officer pulls out and began to follow us. So we continued to travel west on Rumberg, and then we made a right on Lamar, traveling north. The video cut out because the tripod fell over. As soon as we made that right here, we made another right into this parking lot, which caused the tripod to fall over. Once we pulled into the parking lot, we pulled off to the side and got the camera reestablished. Now, as you can see, the officer is still there and he's right here on the left side of your screen. Now, imagine you following an officer just like this officer is following us. They would be screaming officer safety, or you can't be following us, or you're trying to harass us, or you're trying to bait us. But what about this particular situation? There's no,
he is still following us.
There's no justification. There's no reasoning why this officer is following us this way. And in fact, we put this in our complaints, and we also gave them a copy of the video, and you'll be surprised what they said. So we continued traveling throughout this parking lot, and we decided to go into the Burger King drive-thru to see if this officer would actually follow us into the drive-thru. But as you can see, this level of intimidation and harassment is just like beyond necessary. Like, I didn't think there's any way that they could justify this, but you'll be surprised what they say in the complaint. So after playing cat and mouse for a little bit, we ended up behind Officer Metz, in which we parked the car and we tried to confront him.
you doing?
Okay. Did you not get enough footage earlier?
What's that?
Did you not get enough footage earlier?
I was just figuring out why you're following me. Is there something wrong?
You're not detained at this time. You're free to go, sir.
I was just asking a question. I know I'm free, but I'm just asking a question. I mean, you followed me through a couple of parking lots and down the street.
You still available?
I'm just asking a question.
You can ask whatever questions you like. Since you're not detained, I'm going to decline to answer any questions at this time.
All right. Can I get your name and badge number?
This is Mets 5120, as you can plainly see both now and earlier. You are Mr. Turner. I see you're driving with your corrective lenses. Is that correct?
Mitz
Are those clear lenses or corrective
5212.
lenses?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So you're going to see this officer admit to knowing who I was, and yet he still decided to follow me the way that he did. Now, it's obvious that this officer did this out of retaliation for recording him, which we lodged in our complaint.
Call for backup. I'm not detained or whatever, but
I'm good.
We've met and familiar with your partner here. I don't think I've met you yet. We're standing here. I can stand here. It's okay. So we're standing here. What is your name?
None of your business.
Are you driving that car?
Did you see me driving the car? On a public street?
You parked it in a public place.
That's right, it's a public place.
Okay, so you're operating a motor vehicle in a public place.
I was not. This here is private
So you're
property.
free to go for right now.
For right now?
For right now.
Now, like all police departments, each department has a particular manual that governs their professional conduct. This is a list of guidelines for them to follow, and if they were to violate these guidelines, then there's repercussions, or so you would think. Section 301, responsibility to the community. Employees will be held accountable for the manner in which they exercise the authority of their office or position. In an effort to create an organizational culture that is inclusive and non-discriminatory, employees shall act professional, treat all persons fairly and equal, and strive to interact with the community in a positive manner. Employees will perform all duties objectively and without regard to personal feelings and animosities and etc. The conduct of each employee reflects on the agency as a whole, and the burden of achieving the agency's community relation objectives is shared. In Section 302, in regards to public recording of official acts, in Section C-6, it clearly states that officers shall not in any way threaten, intimidate, or otherwise discourage an individual from recording officers' enforcement activities. Now, I don't know about you, but I would go on a limb here and say that the average person that watched this video would say that this officer tried to intimidate this person for exercising his right to record. With this information, a detailed complaint, and video evidence, you would think the investigation from the internal affairs would go smooth. And in fact, no, not at all. According to the investigator, Mark Herring, he determined that Officer Metz was justified in following Mr. Turner in his endeavors. It was also found that there was no value to the complaint, that there was no merit. Now, this is the reason why people would say that filing complaints is just a waste of time. It does nothing, absolutely nothing. And I would have to say it depends on the department. Now, when you have a department like Austin, you have these investigators that side with the officers almost 90% of the time. And I'm going to be releasing proof of that along with video evidence. So this is not going to look good for Austin Police Department now that I have all this information. Now, yes, filing a complaint is useless, but you know what? I think I'm going to double down here. Now, I don't think I've seen anyone file a complaint against internal affairs, and I think I might just do that. I have a list of all the investigators and the names of the officers that investigated my complaints, and with all the information that I have, there's no reason why it's unjustified. So I'm going to be filing complaints on the investigators and seeing how that goes. And you know the old saying, we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.